Have you ever wondered what separates the sellers who succeed on eBay from those who find less success or fail entirely? In today's video, we're going to talk about the differences between those two groups. Now, you may think success is all about having a winning strategy or your level of experience or depth of knowledge, but that's wrong. Success in anything, including eBay, is 95% mindset and only 5% strategy. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 key principles that have helped me have the right mindset and find long-term success not only on eBay, but in any challenging endeavor in life worth doing. So if you're not as successful as you think you probably should be, I want to help you change that by helping you shift your mindset. Hey, if we haven't met yet, my name is Justin and I've been selling on eBay for over 26 years, and I also co-founded an eBay seller automation platform called Flipwise. We have a Discord server that is sort of like the office water cooler for hundreds of eBay sellers, and we talk every single day there and help each other grow our eBay businesses. And running this community has given me the opportunity to meet so many different sellers out there and witness some pretty amazing success stories. But I'll be honest, I've also seen plenty who start with a burst of excitement only to crash and burn a few months later before quitting entirely. Or some sellers who've been going at it for years but never seem to be able to grow their income beyond a certain point. One thing I've always been curious about is what separates those two groups. What makes one eBay seller succeed, grow their revenue, be able to quit their job or whatever, while a similar seller, sometimes even with the same level of experience, tries to do the same thing but fails? The answer to that is what I've tried to condense into this video, so let's dig in. I want to start by quickly defining what success is. The best definition I've personally come across is from a guy named Earl Nightingale, who said,
"Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal."
Now, your worthy ideal could be anything, really. Maybe you want to quit your job, sell stuff on eBay full time. Maybe you want to build the next Amazon, get 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Maybe just stop biting your nails. We each have our own worthy ideals, lots of them in fact, and doing the work to progressively realize those ideals over time in and of itself is success. And I really like this definition of success because nobody knows how long it'll take for a worthy ideal to be fully realized. You know, it could take like a day or a week or a month or a year or even a lifetime. And if whether you're successful or not is pegged to some awesome milestone at an impossible to predict point in the future, you're setting yourself up for failure. You see, those future awesome milestones are only reached by taking incremental steps towards the milestone over time on a consistent basis without quitting. So it makes sense to frame success not as whether you have hit some milestone or not, but whether you're making progress towards it. All right, so with that definition in mind, let's talk about the first mindset principle that will help you actually achieve success on a consistent basis. Let me start by sharing a quick story. Back in 2020, I started making videos on this YouTube channel you're watching right now. For over 3 years, I made videos regularly, and during that time, basically nobody watched them. Yes, it was discouraging, but I kept doing it because I liked making videos. But on May 21st, 2023, I thought, why am I doing this? It takes a bunch of time and nobody watches it. What's the point? I should either make the decision to build this into something real or just quit doing it entirely. So that day, I made the decision to stop half-assing it and build it into something successful, which I defined at the time as hitting 10,000 subscribers. Now I remember the exact date because after I made the decision, I bought a book called The YouTube Formula on Amazon. It's a great book, by the way. Well, spoiler alert, I did hit 10,000 subscribers, and you're watching this video right now, which offers some level of proof that I found some success with YouTube. But here's the interesting part and why I'm telling you this story in the first place. Check out this screenshot of my lifetime YouTube view count. You can see here that for many years I got so few views that they barely even registered on the graph. But here is May 21st, 2023, the day I made the decision to build YouTube into something bigger. That's pretty wild, isn't it? I mean, I spent years making videos that nobody watched, but within a few weeks, literally, of making the decision to get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I started the steady march of success. And check out this graph of my lifetime subscriber growth. Here I am back in 2020 with 2 subscribers. Over the next 3 years, I grew that to a whopping 194 subscribers here on May 21st, 2023, which is when I made the decision to take it seriously. And just 95 days later, on August 24th, 2023, I hit the 10,000 subscriber mark. So, what changed? How did I go from making videos for over 3 years without any real traction to hitting my goal within 3 months? I made the decision to do it. The truth is, most people don't decide to do anything challenging. They think, oh, it would be cool if I could get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, or I wish I could quit this dead-end day job and make money selling stuff on eBay. But thinking and wishing are very different from deciding. They require no commitment from you. They are soft, warm, comfortable places to be where failure isn't an option, which is where most people like to stay. So most people never decide to do anything hard. They think, oh, I'd love to travel the world, or wouldn't it be great if I could make a living selling my art? Those are not decisions. Those are wishes. They're hopes, dreams. And it's not bad to have dreams. It's a necessary part of the process, actually. But if you never make the decision to turn those dreams into reality, that is where they will stay, as dreams. So if you really want them to come true, you have to make the decision to go and get them. But most people don't. And why is that? The biggest reason most people never decide to do something hard is because they make the mistake of thinking they need to have all the details figured out before making the decision and getting started. But remember, success has very little to do with how much you know or how rock solid your strategy is. The reality is nobody knows exactly how to make hard things happen before they happen. I had no idea how to grow a channel on YouTube when I made the decision. If I did, I wouldn't have wasted 3 years making videos nobody watched. And in fact, everyone who's found success in something hard made the decision to do the hard thing without having all the details figured out. They all believed it could be done and carried on with limited details and figured the rest out along the way. That's what separates the successful people from those who are stuck dreaming. Steve Jobs has a good quote about this. He said,
"You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference."
Now, what he means here is that once you decide to do something hard and then do it, it's pretty easy to look back and see how you did it, but it's impossible to look forward and know how to do something hard before you do it. And so you just have to make the decision and believe it can be done. Do you think the Wright brothers knew exactly how to fly when they decided to build an airplane? Of course not. People thought they were insane. Nobody knew how to make a machine fly, but that didn't stop them from deciding to do it, even if they had no idea how or if it could even be done in the first place. I sold stuff on eBay for nearly 2 decades before I saw any real success. I would sell a few hundred things a year, maybe, enough to take an extra vacation each summer, but that's it. It wasn't until watching YouTube one day back in 2020 and Matt from Part-Time Picker, he showed up in my feed. I caught a glimpse of his 90-day total on his phone, which was over $30,000. I thought, holy shit, that's amazing. If he can do that part-time, why can't I? So I made the decision right then and there to get my 90-day total up to $30,000, which was over 5 times higher than I had ever been. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but by the end of that summer, I had done exactly that and my life was forever changed. Since that summer 4 years ago, I have sold over $250,000 on eBay part-time while working another full-time job. I used that money to refinish my basement, buy a car, and take my family on so many different trips that we otherwise would not have been able to afford. Matt helped me realize what was possible. All I had to do was make the decision to do what he did. So, have you made a decision? And I mean actually decided. If not, that's what you must do first. You must envision a lofty goal, a worthy ideal that inspires you, and then you must exit the state of wishful thinking and actually decide to do it. Now, this will be scary. Your fear of failure will be working in overdrive, providing all sorts of reasons why you can't do this hard thing and therefore you should not even bother. But you must pay no attention to the fear and make the decision anyway. So, what is it you want to do? Do you want to net $5,000 a month on eBay? Do you want to get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube? Whatever it is, if you want to find success in it, you must start by making the decision to do it. And I mean actually decide. Stop thinking about it. Stop wishing it could happen. Stop trying to plan for every last detail. Stop looking for extra time or money and stop waiting for everything to fall perfectly into place so that what you decide feels possible, because it won't until you've already achieved it. You got to make the decision first and then trust all those details will begin to reveal themselves later. But how do you know if you've actually made a decision? Well, when you actually decide to do something hard, you will feel it physically in your body. You will be scared. You'll think, shit, why did I decide to do this? choice. That's good. That's the feeling you want. It's the fear that's talking. If you don't feel scared after making the decision, you either didn't actually decide or your worthy ideal is probably not ambitious enough. So look for the fear and welcome it when it shows up, because it's not going to go away, ever. If you've actually made the decision to do something hard, the fear will always be there, doing its best to talk you out of your decision basically every step of the way. So invite the fear in, get comfortable with it, make friends with it, and then move on to the next step. Plod. That's a weird word, isn't it? P-L-O-D. Plod. It means to move slowly and in an unexciting way, like a sloth. You really don't hear that word too often, do you? Plod. And when you do, it feels like it's usually used in a negative way, but I think it's a pretty great word. You should aspire to plod. Embrace the plod. After having made a decision to do something hard, you must now plod. The more I say the word plod, the weirder it sounds. The reason I like this word so much is because despite what influencers may tell you, success is not all that exciting. It requires deliberate forward motion towards a desired outcome repeated over time. That's often pretty boring. So the second mindset principle to consider here is that success requires plodding, and plodding is not all that exciting. So one can surmise that success is not all that exciting, and honestly it's not. There's nothing glamorous about it. Getting up every day and listing 10 things on eBay, not very exciting. Shipping out your orders every day, it's pretty boring. Going to the thrift store to browse through junk every day, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. And even though you may enjoy doing these things, it doesn't mean it's always easy to make yourself do them. That's a very common misconception, that just because you love doing something, it's always easy to do. I have a weekly show on this YouTube channel where every Monday I make a new video. I really love making videos, but do you think it's easy for me to sit down and do that week in and week out? It's really not. It's a lengthy and time-consuming process. Most weeks I have to buckle down and do them even though there's a million other things I'd rather be doing. But I made the decision, so it must be done. And so you must plod along towards your worthy ideal, day in, day out, rinse and repeat. And there's going to be ups and downs here. Some days you're going to be motivated and the work will come easy. Other days the motivation's nowhere to be found. On that weekly video, I do a regular Q&A, and there's a specific question that gets asked almost every single week. People say, "Hey Justin, I hate listing. How do I stay motivated?" Well, the short answer is you don't. There really is no trick here. Those who find success in this business push forward even when motivation is nowhere to be found. You see, motivation's like a cat. It's elusive and unpredictable. One moment it's right there, purring softly beside you, but as soon as you reach for it or try to hold it close and keep it around, it darts off, leaving you to fend for yourself. When this happens, you have to rely on motivation's more handsome and fit cousin, discipline. Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow through with it. It's harder than it sounds. This ability to make yourself do something even though you don't really want to do it is a rare but extremely valuable trait, and it's a critical part of the success mindset. And while actually making a decision to do something challenging combined with the ability to plod along towards that goal consistently is important, but we're still missing one key principle. Because as you're plodding along, doing your thing, minding your business, you'll start to run into some speed bumps and roadblocks along the way, and this is a normal part of doing difficult things, because if it were easy and free of challenge, everyone would be doing it. The third principle here that separates those who are successful from those who are not is the ability to carry on in the face of adversity. The less successful see the inevitable speed bumps and roadblocks as excuses, as reasons why they can't continue down the path to realize what they've decided. It doesn't matter what it is, really. eBay changed their policy, or shipping rates went up, or the other person got elected, a buyer scammed you, thrift stores are charging absurd prices. But here's the thing. For whatever reason, resellers love to complain, especially about eBay. YouTube is filled with all sorts of negative stories and fear-mongering about eBay, which makes it seem like a pretty scary place to do business. If you're not careful, it's pretty easy to take that noise as evidence that what you're trying to do can't be done, shouldn't even try in the first place, and when you do try and encounter a challenge, that it's somebody else's fault and it's their responsibility to fix it. But you have to just ignore all that. Don't pay attention to that noise, because placing blame for the problems you face on other people or platforms like eBay is dangerous. It robs you of the opportunity to solve the problem yourself. You see, if it's somebody else's fault and not yours, then they have to do something to resolve it, not you. You can't control what other people do, so don't make that mistake. Own your problems. The truth is, your journey to realizing the worthy ideal that you decided to achieve is going to be filled with adversity. Because look, life is hard, not just for you, for everyone. Nobody gets a free pass. We all have our own unique challenges that we face, and running a successful business adds another layer of difficulty to an already challenging life. Every single day, you will meet challenges that does its best to zap your motivation and throw you off course. And some of those challenges won't really bother you you and be easy to overcome, while others are going to be difficult to talk yourself through. They'll make you wonder why everyone is out to get you. They'll make you want to quit, so you must stop wishing things were easy. Go into this endeavor, whatever it is, knowing that it will not be easy, that it's going to be filled with challenges. Just be ready for them. Don't bother yourself with who's at fault. Own those challenges you face, because then you can fix them and move on to the next ones. Those who find long-term success here embody this third mindset principle with a certain passion. They see those speed bumps and roadblocks not as excuses, but as opportunities. They don't just overcome the obstacles they run into along the way. They treat them as opportunities to better themselves and their businesses, and to further separate themselves from the competition, because the competition won't do that. Those who are less successful let the challenges they face push them off the path to success. And again, it's not enough to just overcome the challenges you face. To fully realize your worthy ideal and reach entirely new heights of success, you have to instead embrace the challenges and treat them as gifts. You have to invite them in, analyze them, and become better because of them. Now, let me be super clear here, because this is really important. Those who find success are not lucky because they face no adversity. They are successful because of the adversity they faced. They saw the adversity for what it really was, an opportunity to improve, to make themselves and their businesses stronger. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. It's very hard to look in the face of adversity and try to find the good, but it's the only option you have if you want to separate yourself from the less successful and actually realize your goals. Because being able to meet a challenge and not only overcome it, but become better because of it is a very valuable skill, one that most people don't have, including your competition. So these challenges that you face are a gift. Each and every one acts as a test to separate the successful from the less successful. Which side are you going to be on? My trick to choosing the side of success is to respond to every bit of adversity I face with 3 words. This is good. And then I try to uncover the good lurking inside the challenge. This allows me to reframe that challenge as an opportunity. For example, thrift stores charging absurd prices. This is good. It weeds out the less resilient resellers, leaving less competition, and forces you to broaden your knowledge of what has value. Helps you explore opportunities for other sourcing methods, and ultimately lead to sourcing a wider variety of profitable inventory that you otherwise wouldn't have. Or eBay changed some policy. This is good. It's your opportunity to understand the policy change and adapt, while other sellers remain ignorant or get frustrated with the change and just quit. Or you just got scammed. This is good. You're now more aware of what bad buyers are doing out there so that you can fortify your business against them in the future. Or shipping rates increased. This is good. It forces you to find cost savings in other areas of your business, something most of your competitors are not going to do. They'll instead complain, put their foot on the brakes, while you push down harder on the accelerator. Or you could take the opposite approach. Thrift stores charging absurd prices? I'll just whine about it in the comment section of some YouTube video instead of thinking creatively about how to increase my knowledge of what has value and exploring alternative sourcing methods. eBay changed some policy? Well, eBay sucks. They're always changing things, and they're always siding with the buyer. You can't make money there anymore without jumping through a bunch of dumb hoops. I am done with eBay. We just got scammed. All right, it's time to close up shop. There's no good human beings left in this world. I'm going to let some scammer decide the fate of my business and rob me of the opportunity of making hundreds of thousands of dollars in future legitimate sales. Shipping rates increasing? That's it. I'm done. Inflation has killed my business. What happened to America? The little guy doesn't stand a chance anymore. It's impossible to run a business these days. You see, this is exactly what I mean when I say success has 95% to do with your mindset. We are all working under the same constraints. We all have to follow the same rules. These challenges that we will all face are out of our control. They're going to be extremely frustrating and often very difficult to overcome. But you have to realize that how you respond to them is the control that you have. How you respond to these challenges that we all face is what separates those who are successful from those who fail. So if you want to find long-term success in anything, you must first have a clear vision for what it is you actually want to do, and then you must decide to do it. I mean, actually decide to do it. Not think it would be cool if it happened, but decide to make it happen, even though you're not really sure how or if it can even be done in the first place. And then you must put your blinders on and plod along, minding your business, making incremental steps towards that worthy ideal you decided to take on. You'll stop waiting for motivation to magically appear and do what must be done using discipline. And the most satisfying of tasks will be the ones that you really didn't want to do but did anyway. That satisfaction will come from the realization that you are now a person who can give yourself a command and follow through with it. And as the inevitable challenges crop up, you will be ready for them. You will stop reacting and instead respond to the challenges, seeking out the good in each challenge that you face and doing your best to frame them as opportunities to differentiate yourself from your competitors and improve yourself and your business. And at some point along this journey, you're going to lift your head out of the weeds. You're going to look around and realize that you've come much further than you ever thought was possible. Those obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are now just stepping stones behind you. You'll see the progress that you've made, not just in your business, but in your own resilience, in your confidence and skill. This is the reward for sticking it out when it wasn't easy, and for pushing through when it felt thankless, and for choosing consistency over convenience. You'll know then that you did not just build a business, you built yourself, and that's the kind of success that lasts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I sincerely hope it helps you find even more success in whatever it is you want to do in your life. Speaking of which, I too have recently embarked on a new and exciting worthy ideal of my own, which is to help as many eBay sellers as I can by providing them with the most sophisticated set of software tools available on the market. I mentioned this briefly in the beginning of the video, but Flipwise is a platform I co-founded that automates all of the boring parts of the eBay reselling process. You just link your eBay account with Flipwise and it will ingest all of your active listings and sales history going back 2 years so that you can understand how your business is performing and get ready for tax time. If you're not tracking your numbers yet, or if you're using a spreadsheet to do it manually, Flipwise makes all of that work simple by basically doing it for you. And if that sounds interesting, just look for a link in the description below. I'll leave one down there. Or if you're looking to improve the other 5% required for success on eBay, like the strategy part, I have tons of other videos focused on exactly that. Here's a few that you might find interesting.